Okay, we're live. So we might as well start, Jaya. Um, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah,
Okay.
Patrick, I finished all the tests for the company controller specs. I pushed into, I ran all tests are passed. I pushed into the code into the GitHub. I installed the Hookup and removed all the spaces and the syntax. And my branch has the merge conflict right now.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, that's why I create the pull request from upstream and merge into my development. I'm running the I finished RSpec test and the Cucumber test is running. Once I done, I rebase and push into code
Okay.
into my GitHub. That is my update.
All right, sounds good. For myself, I have been pretty much devoted to working on the time I had today, working on the story, matching a specific job to a specific resume. Made a lot of progress there. And I think that's about it. I attended Scrum this morning as well, the Martin Fowler Scrum. And that's all the news for me. So we have Michael. Hi, Michael.
How are you?
Very good. And yourself?
Fine. I'm here to work on the story too for homework number, I guess the open source homework.
Oh, you're taking the Agile Web Development using Ruby on Rails course?
Yes, the advanced, the second part.
Yep, got it. Cool. Okay, great. Well, tell you what, why don't we, let me see. Okay. Why don't we start with looking at some stories then, Michael, and we can figure out what you'd like to take. So let me start my screen sharing.
I think we're supposed to vote on it first, I think.
Yeah, we will. I've got a couple that we can vote on.
Okay.
Yep. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Excuse me. So let's see. Let's look at the stories. So we use this thing called Tracker. And Michael, you're going to have to maybe send to me in Slack your GitHub username so we can add you as a collaborator to the project. That means you can take an issue, you can work on it. You can also access Tracker. Tracker is like, I don't know, you probably are using Pivotal Tracker, for instance, I would imagine, for tracking stories and things.
Patrick, he left
Oh,
the.
he dropped, I see, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll give him a minute. I hate it when let me stop sharing right now then. When I had the screen, I can't see what's going on in terms of people, or if I drop connection, I keep talking. It's been a little flaky for me, this Google Hangouts thing lately. I don't know why, but anyway, let me, what story was I looking at? Yeah. There we go.
I got kicked out.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Michael, I'd started to share my screen so we could look at some stories.
Right.
So first things first, though, you're going to need the link to the YouTube video for this meeting. I put it in the group chat. If you could, you know how to access that? You may not have used Hangouts much.
Yeah.
You do or you don't?
Yeah, I do, but I don't see it. I don't see anything in there.
Group chat.
In the group chat? So if you go to the left, you see the chat, the blue box with white lines in it. Click on that, and you should see the chat window open up. Oops. Okay. I guess he's got a bad connection.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's not good.
Okay. Gotta check out again.
Okay. You must have a bad connection, Michael, or something?
I don't think so. It's
Tell you what, I'm gonna.
since I had to restart it, I'm in the chat window, but I don't see the link.
Hmm. So the chat icon is in the upper left-hand corner. When you slide your mouse over to the left side of the screen, it pops out.
You'll see. I just wrote. I'm here in the chat window.
Oh yeah, so you just wrote into it, I'm here. So you don't see the link that I posted right before you wrote that?
Your question.
No.
Let me try it again. So I just posted it again. Do you see
Okay.
that?
Now.
Yeah, so you want to cut and paste this somewhere because I think you need to enter that into your for your homework
Okay.
completion. I think it asks you for a link to the YouTube video that
Okay.
contained the session.
Got it.
And Michael, if you could post to me in chat your GitHub username, and then we can add you as a collaborator to the project so you can work on a story.
Okay. Let me see. This is where I changed window. Let me see if I can get out. See if I think it's just. I'm pretty sure this is it. I don't need to go there. It's the same as mine.
So, okay, got it. Let me, so I don't have access to add you as a collaborator, but I will message Hua, who does. Let's see. Orator. Okay, so you will probably get that done either tonight or very early tomorrow morning, Michael. By the way, where are you located?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia,
Atlanta. Okay.
USA.
Yep. I'm in Massachusetts,
Okay,
just north of you, and Vijaya is in California.
great.
Yeah, we have people on the project all over the world, actually. So let's get to looking at stories. Let me screen share again. Vijaya, I'm going to hide my screen. If Michael drops again, please let me know so I can stop talking because
Yeah.
I won't be able to see it. Can you guys see my screen okay now?
I can.
Okay, good. So there are a couple of stories that I thought are approachable by a student kind of just starting out, Michael, and they don't involve you don't need a lot of knowledge of the particular domain, the particular application that we're building. They're pretty self-contained. So
Okay.
we can vote on two of those stories, and then you can decide which one you want to take. So
Okay.
let's look at this first one. So the first one is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably it's a very simple story. So this says that in job.rb, so this is a model. We have a model called job, and in that model description file, job.rb, we have a method called apply, and it assigns a variable, local variable called job application, to a value, and then it uses that value, and then right before it exits, it calls that same method that assigned the value to that local variable again, and it's needlessly calling method twice. So that's the setup. Let me show you what the code looks like. So we'll look at the job model. The method in the job model is called apply. Can you guys see this okay? You should make my screen bigger.
I can see it.
See it okay? Okay, good. Great. So you can see here there's a local variable called job application that is assigned the value returned by this method, last application by job seeker. And then job application is used here. And then we want to actually return the last application by the job seeker. So we call this method again right here. So between this invocation of the method and this invocation method, there's nothing changing with respect to applications. This is just setting up a mail job, email job. So the reality is this is a useless second call for the same method. This is just useless work. So what we really need to happen there is just return the value job application. Exactly. Right. That's all we need. But that's basically the story. So that's that story. Why don't we vote on that, and then we will come back and look at the other story. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to propose that we vote in the chat window here. And sorry about my screen. It's going to be a little busy there for a bit. Let me see if I can cover a lot of that stuff up. So what we do, Michael, is we typically vote using Fibonacci series numbers. And so we start with 1, 2, and then 3. The next number in the sequence would be 5. We hardly ever work. I don't think we ever work on a 5. If we have a 5, we break it up into at least 2 stories or more, smaller stories. So our stories typically are 1, 2, or 3. Our typical stories for adding an action to a controller, let's say, and adding the view for the action, adding tests, etc., they typically work out to be a 2. If it's a fairly big story, bigger story, it's a 3. And 1 is for some very simple stories. So with that, I'd like to propose we just vote in the chat window. And what'll happen is I'll just count down 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, everybody enters their number into the chat window. And I'll do so as well. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody up okay with voting now? Any other questions on the story itself? Michael, you good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so go ahead and type your number into the chat, but don't hit return until I say go. All right, so I'm going to start the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, cool. That's what I thought we'd end up with. So I'm going to set the points for this one to 1. And that, I'm going to move it over to the ready column. Ready means it's been assigned points and it's ready to be pulled over to in progress for anybody who wants to take that story and start working on it. You can't do that right now, Michael, because you're not as a collaborator to the project yet. But once you are, you'll be able to access this thing called Waffle, which is our project board. You could assign yourself. You'll find yourself, once you're a collaborator, you'll find yourself in this list.
Okay.
And then you could just drag it over here and say, I'm taking the story.
So you move it to in progress.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. That, and then everybody see, and you assign yourself to it. So I can see that Vijay's working on this one. Laura's working on that one. It's good when people have faces rather than icons. Arun's working on that. I'm working on this, that kind of thing. You can just go with it. Don't worry about having a face versus an icon. Not a problem. So the other story that I thought we could vote on is this one. It's a little bit more involved. So we have a job application, and a job application can be rejected by the company. So a job application is made by a job seeker to a job posted by a company. Typical situation. And somebody from the company can go in and say, I'm going to reject this application. It's not suitable to the tasks or the requirements of the job. So we've got all that working, and it works very nicely, except we're not saving that reason. Excuse me, when they reject a job application, they're supposed to enter a reason for the rejection. They have to type something in because we want to understand why the job seeker was not suitable to the job. That'll help the job developer figure out what's going on. So we do enter that. It comes back to the controller. But it's not saved in the database. So that was a missing piece that I didn't pick up on until lately when I was looking at it and figuring out we're not saving that. We went to all the trouble to ask the user to enter the reason, but we're not actually saving the reason to the database. So let me look at the model itself. So here's the job application model. And you can see we have this thing, excuse me, adder accessor, reason for rejection. Excuse me. So all that is it's adding a instance variable called reason for rejection and getting and creating the accessor methods, getter and setter for it. So that's great, except we're not actually adding the reason for rejection as entered by the user to the database. There's no database field for reason for rejection. So I didn't know that, and we got away with it because we're adding an instance variable to the model, but we're not saving it to the DB. And if I go and look at database schema, and we go down and look at job applications, so you can see job applications itself does not have a field called reason for rejection, which would be a string. So we missed that. So this story consists of these things, these tasks. One is we need a migration file to add reason for rejection to the database as a field within job applications table. And then in the model, we remove that adder accessor, reason for rejection. We don't need that because we actually have a field in the database, and Rails will pick that up and it'll know about that field. Then we would add a model test to job application spec to verify the presence of the database column. Let me show you what I mean by that real quickly. Spec. So typically, some of our validation, all of our validations typically look like this, Michael. For our database, we say, we put these expectations in. We should have a column called job seeker ID, etc. Well, here we just have expectation to have that database column in the database. So there's that's that step. And the last step is in the job applications controller spec, we need to verify that when we're doing the update action in one of the tests, that when the parameters come in with a reason for rejection, that it's actually saved to the database. So we need to verify that. So typically you'd set up a test object, perform an action on it. Then after the action, the controller action, you'd reload the test object and make sure that you see reason for rejection. Reloads it from the database. So this is not a complex, extremely complex, but it's fairly straightforward. It's got a little bit more meat to it than the other one. So, but it's quite doable. So, any questions on that one before we set out the vote on it?
Well, it seems pretty straightforward to me.
Okay, perfect. All right then. So why don't we do the countdown again and put a number in there? So I'll start the countdown now. So 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. All right, great. We're all in agreement. So I will go ahead and set 2 for that, and we will move that over as well to ready column. So Michael, you think one of these two would be something you'd want to work on? Okay. Yes. Your choice as well.
Second one.
Sorry?
The second one would seem a little more interesting.
Yeah, the first one's hardly worth. There's no challenge at all.
Yeah, you did the first one.
I already did it. Yeah, I didn't save it. Yeah, have you ever written a migration file, for instance?
Yeah, just what I had to do in the class, but I understand it.
Okay. Yeah. So here's an example. Here's a chance to do something, a migration file for real, right? Cool. Okay. So what'll happen now, Michael, you're going to be added as a collaborator. When Huey lets me know that that's done, I will ping you so you know it's available. You can get access to that waffle storyboard from the Agile Ventures project page, our project page. And then
Okay.
you can go there and take ownership of the story. You can also go to GitHub, and on the GitHub front page on the README or somewhere thereabouts, there's a link to how to stand up the application. So it just walks you through the steps for standing up on your local computer. Are you going to be working on? You on?
Yeah, I'm doing it locally on my computer. What project is it?
It's Met
Met
Plus.
Plus.
Okay.
METPLUS. It's fairly straightforward to stand up the app. There is a point where you're going to need a YAML file, application.yaml file, which has kind of sensitive data, and just ping anybody on the project, and we can post it to Slack for you. Vijaya or myself, or just go to the general Met Plus channel and just ask somebody to post it to you from that channel.
Okay.
It's a file obviously that's not in Git because it can't reside in GitHub because it contains account credentials.
Okay.
Nothing super secret, but anyway, that's the way it works. But anyway, you'll see that step in the build process. Just ping us and we'll get you that. And
All
other than
right.
that, people have had good success standing up the application with normal problems. So seems to be working out pretty well. Okay. Well, that's all I had from my side. What week are you in this course, Michael?
I think this is the last homework before the final that I have to do.
Oh, okay. So you're near the end of it.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, great. Vijay and I have taken those two courses. They're the best MOOC courses I've ever taken. You learn so much.
Yeah.
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 They're really good. All right then. Anybody else have anything?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so you too.
All right, Michael, ping me if any problems, but we'll look for you to take a story.
Okay, Patrick.
All right. Good luck. Talk to you later. Bye for now.